this is what's gonna happen. Fury tanking, Strat undead. You can see I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 305, so 7% hit. And the most frequently asked question for that video was, what's the rotation? What do I do for single mob? What do I do for multi-mob? I was just planning on making a video in hopes that maybe I can answer some questions. The spec I'm in right now is totally different than the one I went through in my last video. 7, 29, 15. Yes, super weird. Okay, the reason why we have 7 into arms is because we want 2 points tactical mastery. It helps so much. It lets you have intercept, it lets you have pummel, it lets you have mocking blow. We have all the shouts that we need. It's just so useful. This is what we have into Fury. Only 4 points in the flurry. 25% swing. It's still really fast, you know what I mean? It's not 30%, but what's 5%? It's not huge, it's not small. It doesn't make or break the build to lose that 5%. I still went with Death Wish, but I don't use it often. And what we're trading out here is Bloodthirst. Now, in the defensive tree, we have Defiance, and that's what makes everything work. In my opinion, that's what makes everything work. So here we go. I'm in Strat. Just gonna pull some mobs, get ready, and I'm just gonna go and do this dungeon while you guys are watching and kind of just maybe explain what I'm doing. So right now I'm single targeting. I'm stacking Sunder and Heroic Strike. Now, the reason why this build works really good and the reason why we don't have Bloodthirst is because we're relying on Heroic Strike. So we have 3 points in to improve Heroic Strike. Alright, so now we've got the multi-mob here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to target each mob and I'm going to Sunder each of them like at least once, okay? Just watching what they're targeting, target of target, and then when they're all bundled up like this, I'm going to cleave as much as I can, and then I'm going to use my taunt ability whenever something's not targeting me, okay? Watching the target of target down here, okay? And then when we're back on the single target, it's back to Heroic Strike and Sunder. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pull a mob, LOS pull him back, start off with a nice Blood Rage and AoE. When you battle shout, when the mobs are coming in, it's really important to do that. If you have the ability to do that, even if it's already up, do it again, because what happens is it causes threat. So before the mob even gets to the group, you already built up a little cushion of threat, which is just nice. Healer has mana, always make sure healer has mana. What's really cool about the ranged weapon is that it can crit and proc flurry. So make sure you get that ranged weapon up. Mine's only 286, but you're going to want to get it up more. Alright, so there's a new fresh mob. I'm going to turn around, Sunder it. Alright, get Sunder up. Right, it's running away. I'm going to taunt. And now it's targeting me. Boss is targeting the rogue, so I'm going to use my single target high threat abilities like Heroic Strike. Now that he's targeting me, I can go back to using Cleave, spamming Cleave. He's targeting the hunter, so now I'm going to use the taunt ability. Back to the single target Sunder and Heroic Strike spam. Okay. New mob comes up, I'm going to hit it once or twice. I put Sunder up on it, just 1 stack, 2 stacks, and then I'm going back to the boss. So that's what you're going to do when you're fighting multiple mobs. You're going to want to switch targets. You're going to want to watch, keep an eye out on what the target is doing. Is it targeting you? Is it targeting somebody else? Okay. Your job is to make sure the mobs are targeting you. Okay? Your job is not to do, like, you know, damage. Your job is not to, you know, your job is just to make sure everything's targeting you. I'm just Sunder everything once, targeting him. Come over here, he's targeting him. I'm just gonna spam Cleave here. A couple white hits, Sunder on him. Come back, Sunder on this guy. See, and now you see that that guy was targeting me before he died. It's good to note that there's different types of mobs, right? There's casters, and then there's ranged melee, and then there's melee, right? And then there's tanks. When you're up against tanks and melee, like these things here, these ghouls, you're gonna want to prioritize these guys, okay? When these guys are in your group and they're just mucking around your group, you don't want that to happen. You want them to be hitting you. So you're gonna want to use your taunt ability, you know, taunt, 10-second cooldown, or you're even as a backup, you're gonna want to use your challenging show or mocking blow. You're going to want to prioritize these heavy hitting melee guys over the casters. If the casters are in the back and they're just hitting your healer or something, your healer can handle it for a second. But those melee guys, nobody in your group can handle that. No rogue, hunter, or mage, or priest, or warlock can handle these things hitting them. You're gonna want to make sure these guys are on you. Alright, so we pulled a beast and a ghoul. So I'm going to get a sunder up on one of these ghouls. Sunder is up. Taunt the beast. Attacking the ghoul. Pull aggro back on the ghoul. Hitting the beast again. Hitting the ghoul again. Making sure that the target is always me. I should be the target. You know, you want to be like narcissistic. You want to see yourself. You want to just worry about yourself. You just want to see you there. You want to be the star of the show. Alright, Sunder up on one. Sunder on the other. Back on this one that everybody else is targeting. Taunt him. Right? Hit this one a bit. Put a cleave out. Back here. Back on this guy. Constantly switching targets. Constantly applying Sunders. Constantly hitting both mobs with Heroic Strike. Building that threat with both mobs. Now that's only going to happen if you're getting hit, you're hitting, you're critting, you're getting crit. Just the flow, the bandwidth of damage, like I said in my first video. So that's why we don't use a shield as a Fury tank. And that's another reason why we don't want anticipation as a Fury tank. You want to get hit more. Two casters, a ghoul, a skeleton. Prioritize the ghoul. Get a Sunder up on the ghoul. Skeleton's fine. Skeleton's okay. The group's not going to go crazy. Cleave. Right? Cleaves are coming out, making sure that the ghoul and the revenant are attacking me, or the ghoul ravener. Right? These guys are both attacking me. Heroic strikes are coming out. So I really hope this helps people understand. Just watch what I'm doing. Try to follow along. It's something that's going to be situational. There's no like guaranteed. There's no like rotation. It's not like first do this, then do this. Like tanking is never going to be like that. There's never going to be a rotation. Now there's going to be some things to prioritize over the other, and that's where experience comes in. That's why I always tell people, you know, try it. Try tanking, right? So I got Sunder up on him. Sunder up on him. Right? Now I see that my group's attacking this one here, right? So I'm going to focus on this one, right? Right? Maybe refresh the Sunder on this guy, back on this guy, making sure my threat is up on this guy. Use your judgment, right? I see my group, which one my group is attacking. I see where the arrows and frost bolts are going, and that's the one I focus on. But I always put up a Sunder on the prioritized targets. Now there's no list. There's no like white paper that I can give you that says which target to prioritize or like which abilities to use. That's just something that's just gonna have to come with experience. Something that's gonna have to come with practice, right? I AoE battle shout. Now I just built some threat with these mobs, right? Put Sunder up on one, Sunder on the other. I see my group's targeting this guys, but this is why rogues are annoying, because they're always targeting somebody else. So you gotta always watch out. And another thing for rogues too is that if any rogues are watching, when a tank pulls a mob, please don't cheap shot the mob before it reaches the tank. That really slows down the dungeon, believe it or not. Nice, started off with 2 crits, put up 2 Sunders, and now we just spam our Heroic Strike and Sunder combo. It's all about it's about reading in between the lines and reading the situation between what's in front of you. Again, there's no group, there's no one way to do it. There's no way to do it, like, you know, one way to do it right, and there's no one way to do it wrong. Just have to read the situation and play around it. So, right, these are all like casters, right? A couple white swings, maybe a cleave. Just gonna start off with like an early cleave right here. Cleave, this guy dodged it, so I'm gonna hit him a little bit here. All right, make sure they're all targeting me. This guy's targeting, but he's stunned, so that's okay. Right, this guy's walking over here. I'm gonna taunt him. I use my taunt. 8 seconds left on taunt. Rogue's attacking this guy over here. I don't think everybody in my group is level 60, so I'm gonna pull some extra packs here and be safe. Cool, only one came up, so just get that heroic strike. I'm gonna turn him around for the rogue here. Get that heroic strike and fun combo here. Battle shout out, right? And that's it. You have to keep that trigger finger on taunt. Make sure you're always ready to lose aggro. Right? There's that flurry. That's nice, right? So my ranged weapon crits gives me flurry. So I start the fight with a little bit extra oomph, and I still lose aggro when going up against a hunter and a rogue, right? Which is fine. You know, it's okay to lose aggro. Just make sure you taunt. Right? See that mage? Mage putting in frost bolts and stuff before the gargoyle even got to me. Right? So he's rooted, and if he wasn't targeting me, he didn't need to taunt. But as soon as he started moving, I taunted. So you always have to, you know, read the situation. Again, like people ask me, what's it like to Fury Tank, or how should I do it, or you know, what's the rotation, what's the build? I've said it before. I've seen people Fury Tank Molten Core and blues. Right? Right? I'm hitting multiple mobs here. Right? Make sure I got Sunder up. Make sure I'm going to get Sunder up. Right? Here's the Sunder. Next one, here's the Sunder. These guys are targeting me right here. Watch these cripples and frostbolts. Boom, right to me. Okay. This guy's slowed. He's not going to get to my guys, so I don't have to taunt right away. It's not a threat. Right? Right? I'm going to taunt this guy. And mocking blow this guy here. Now they're both attacking me. I got a Sunder up on each. Okay. You just gotta practice. Just try it. You know, like I said in my first video, give it a shot. You might like it. Again, this is my build. This is different from the other video. I don't like to use Bloodthirst anymore. The only problem with this build is you're like totally useless everywhere else. At least with the other build with Fury Tanking with Bloodthirst, at least you can, like, you know, two-hand DPS, some dungeons and stuff, help some buddies out, maybe even PvP if you get Piercing Hell. If you follow my build, then you'll have Piercing Hell. But this one here, I incorporated Tactical Mastery. I traded out Bloodthirst, and I find that I'm using Heroic Strike way more than Bloodthirst. And if I have 30 Rage to dump on Bloodthirst, I'm going to put it somewhere else. I'm going to put up a Shout. I'm going to put up a Sunder and a Heroic Strike, right? You ultimately get more threat that way. Mobs are coming. Boom. Battle Shout's up. I've already built up some threat with all these guys. Sunder on one. Sunder on the other. Right? Maybe a cleave now. Cleaves go out. Taunt this guy here. Back to Heroic Strike and Sunder. Single target. Okay. Charge in for the boss. Heroic Strike and Sunder. That's all I'm doing. People ask me what's the rotation. I'm like, I'm spamming with 2 fingers on the keyboard. I'm just hitting these buttons at the same time. There is no rotation. There is no rotation. There is no spoon. So here we go. We got a caster and a ghoul. Sunder up on the ghoul. Sunder up on the caster. Back on the ghoul. The ghoul's losing more HP than the caster is, so it's safe to assume everybody's hitting the ghoul, and they are. So now I'm going hard on the ghoul. Heroic Strike, Sunder. It's already at 4 Sunders up, 5 Sunders, while this one only has 1. But still, that 1 keeps them on you, right? It's enough for the Hunter's multi-shot. It's enough for the Rogue's Blade Flurry. And that's how you Fury tank multiple mobs. Always keeping an eye on your healer's mana. Priest has half mana up there. It's a little boring spamming 2 buttons, but at the end of the day, it's effective. And I think people will like you. People will like you for being a good tank, or a good enough tank. Not the best tank. Or you never know, maybe you could be the best tank. Maybe that could be your mission, to catch them all. See, it's habit to just spam Battle Shout even though I don't have enough rage. Alright, first thing I want to do, get a Sunder up. Even a Heroic Strike. Damage will always equate to more threat than just threat. Okay? What is that? He's on his way. See that mage just attacking him? See, what we need are people to LOS. Dense Dynamite. It's a little cheat code. It's a little secret. Family secret. Healer's mana. Oh wait. Priest has mana. Hunter needs mana. Mage needs mana. So far so good. Mobs are on the way. Battle Shout, build some threat. Sunder on one. Sunder on the other. Sunder on the last. Find the one that they're targeting. Put some damage into it. Heroic Strikes. There we go. They're all targeting me. I'm narcissistic. I like to see my own name. Huh? I'm the star of the show. I am the star of this show. Right here. YouTube.com/IronManFan, Twitch.tv/IronManFan. Star of the show. Oh man, that's great. I'm just so tired of getting the same questions. Like, what's the rotation? What's the build? I'm using axes. Whatever you want to use. You know, you want to use Mirror Song and like Time Worn Mace. You want to use Dow Rents. You can use Dow Rents. You know, the build is 2 one-handers. That's the build, and enough hit. 8%, 9% hit. Crit isn't a huge issue. It definitely does help. I'm sitting at 16.8. My attack power is 11.29. You know, my gear is epics, but you will find that people are doing just as good in blues. And I know I say this a lot, but you know, it's doable. It's doable. All you gotta do is just try it and practice, and then, you know, make good judgment calls, right? This guy is losing a lot more HP than the other one. It's very safe to assume that he's getting focused, so I'm gonna focus my Heroic Strikes and my Sunders on him. And always have that trigger finger. I always do. My taunt button is on my mouse. That's where I taunt, on the mouse. So it's always there. It's on a separate hand. It will never have any, you know, obstructions. It will never be delayed. It's always there. Boom, I just hit the taunt button, and right away I taunt. Boss? Everybody's mana? Hunter doesn't have mana, but fuck him, he's a hunter. Couple Sunders up. This guy's gonna knock me into the wall. Every time a boss does like a knockback, I heard they do like a threat dump. Cleave on single target? You're supposed to be good at the game. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Key to the city, I don't need that. Death grips, I'll take those. Cleave on single target? I love that video, it made me laugh. Mobs are on the way. Battle Shout up. Start with the Heroic Strike. I mean the Sunder Armor. Switch to the Heroic Strike. I find that yellow numbers, I find that damage itself has, I don't know, not more threat or like better, like it feels like it's heavier threat. Like if I were to Sunder something, if I were to sunder something 5 times, I feel like I would lose aggro. But if I were to sunder and then heroic strike, it would be more difficult for me to lose aggro. I feel like damage just has like heavier threat. Maybe it's just like the thing for me, but I like to put numbers in for threat over just spamming 5 sunders. I don't sunder 5 times then do damage. I do both. Like I'll sunder once and then heroic strike and then sunder and heroic strike. So there's a sunder. Now here comes there's a heroic strike, so here comes in a sunder, right? He parried it, so I'm going to use it again. Right? Heroic strike is queued with a sunder. Heroic strike, sunder. So there was only 2 sunders on that mob. And I never lost aggro, you know? See, until I heroic strike, I lost aggro for that split second. I don't know. This is very tanky and you push 2 buttons. But I can't tell you that's the rotation. I can't say the rotation is to heroic strike, then sunder, then heroic strike, then sunder. No, you just gotta you pick, you know? You deal with it as the situation happens. Nice. Okay, alright, so we pulled 2. So here comes the sunder, taunt, sunder. This guy already stacked a bunch of threat towards him, so I'm gonna start building on this guy. But never forget that this guy's still here, right? Still gotta pay attention to the other girls every once in a while. Can't always give attention to the new girl. Oh god. Okay, shield's going on. Shield is up. Create some distance. Create some distance, right? This is what you're gonna do. You play defensive now. This is how you play defensive. You put the shield up. You spam piercing howl. You make sure you get 1 down as much as you can. This guy's holding aggro, so I'm just gonna do one of these. Taunt this one here, and then the other guy, I'm gonna mocking blow. Okay. Shield's back up. Right, he's rooted, so I'm not going to deal with him. Okay, now he's not rooted. I'm going to taunt him. There's the taunt. And that's it. Shield is on. As soon as I saw 3 mobs coming, shield went on. I went full tank. I'm no longer a fury tank. I'm now taking damage. My job is to mitigate damage. My job is to mitigate damage. Create distance. You know, don't stand in unnecessary places. Don't use unnecessary abilities, and just work with it. Most of it comes with experience, guys. That's why I keep telling people. People are like, "Oh, what should I do? What build should I run? How should I play it? What rotation?" And my answer is always the same: play the game, practice. Just practice, 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 practice. Be Nice, he got the neck he wanted. Right, shield is up. Here we taunt goes off. Slows, piercing howl with slows. He's very happy his neck was dropped. This looks I hope I helped answer some questions. I know I didn't really get into like detail.